Good morning, guys, and very warm welcome to the channel. And today's topic of discussion is all about psychosocial development we are going to discuss. But the major topic of discussion today will be about the theory of psychosocial development, which is given by Erikson. Okay, so that we will discuss the theory of psychosocial development by Erikson. Okay, under this topic we will discuss various subtopics, and that subtopics will include your basic trust versus basic mistrust, autonomy versus shame doubt. Next point will remain initiative versus guilt. At number 4, it will be industry versus inferiority. Number 5, identity versus role confusion. Number 6, intimacy versus isolation. Number 7, generative versus stagnation. And number 8 will be ego integrity versus despair. Okay, so this all topics we will cover under the topic of psychosocial development. Actually, psychosocial development we have already done once, but here we are focusing, I am repeating again, we are focusing on the Erickson's theory of psychosocial development. So let's start our day. It's a psychosocial development, psycho and social. Okay, so the psychosocial development reflects an interpersonal relationship between the psychological development, emotional needs, and the way individual interact with their environment. Means how the individual behave with its environment, its society, the people around him. Okay, at this stage, the question which raises in the mind of a child are like, who am I? Okay, what my close friends thinks about me? How am I different from others? Okay, am I a kid or an adult? Okay, at this stage, this kind of questions, it is very, very obvious to raise this kind of questions in the mind of a child. All right. Now we will discuss what the psychologist Erik Erikson had said about it. Now, guys, Erik Erikson, he has given around the 8 stages of psychosocial development that we are going to discuss here. Erik Erikson in 1963 to 1972 describes a series of 8 psychosocial stages. How many psychosocial stages? 8 are there. All right, you need to remember there are 8 psychosocial stages in which our selfhood, independence, identity, self-worth may be developed or crushed. And at this stage, this all things may get developed or it may get crushed also. So depending on how we are resolve issues and interact with others along the way. All right. So that now we will see, we will read about this, all the 8 stages one by one and the table given below. Okay, guys, so here we have the number 1, that is basic trust versus basic mistrust. This is the first stage. All right. And the duration or the time period when this kind of stage or this stage develop is 12 to 18 months, when a child is around what I can say, an infant or a baby, right? And here is the description given about this basic trust versus mistrust. The infant must form a first loving, trusting relationship with the caregiver. And who is the caregiver? That is the mom, or it may be father or any of the family member. Or develop a sense of mistrust if ignored or abused. So what happens at this very first stage? The child, he seeks attention, maybe from the mom, most probably from the mom or the mother. Okay, then it comes to other family member. But when the child, supposingly a child does not get this attention from the mom or any another family member, then the child feel neglected. Okay. Okay. Next we have autonomy versus shame doubt. Okay, that is 18 months to 3 years. The duration of that is around this age or at this time period it takes place. Okay. Now when I say the term called autonomy means independent kind of. Okay. So the child's energies are directed towards the development of the physical skills. Okay. The child feel independent for it. Okay. At this stage, including the walking, grasping, controlling. Okay. And also it feels sphincter. Okay, sphincter means development of the muscles. The child learns control, but may develop shame and doubt if not handled well. All right. So at this stage, this happens. The child feel very energetic. You might have noticed that when the children they start, they learn how to walk. First they crawl and they gradually they learn how to walk. So when they start walking, so they start moving in the whole room and they try to grab everything from here and there. Right. So this is the stage where they require more attention actually. Okay. And this is something they feel more energized. Okay, so this is a kind of a sense of independence feelings that come into a child here at this stage. Okay, and next one is initiative versus guilt. This is the third stage that takes place between 3 to 6-year-old child. The child continues to become the more assertive and to take more initiative, but may be too careful, which can lead to guilt feeling. Okay, so at this stage, this happens that child like to take initiative, he wants to do something new, okay, but also on the other hand, he is careful that in case if this goes wrong with me, so I may be prove guilt of it. Okay, so this happens at the third stage of that. Okay, stage number 4, that is industry versus inferiority, that occurs between the time period of 6 to 12 years old, when the child is 6 to 12 year old. And this stage, the child must deal with the demands to learn new skills, okay, or risk or a sense of inferiority, failure, or incompetency. Alright. So at this stage, automatically the society, parents, teachers, they start expecting something from them to learn, do this, do that, do this, that. Right? That kind of feeling is there. And the child feels that if I fail to do this, so there is a sense of inferiority, there is a fear of failure, okay, and incompetency that always remain in the mind of a child then. Okay, next 5th stage is about identity versus role confusion. Okay, that is the adolescent stage. Okay, now at this stage, you might have noticed like when the children, they go to this adolescent stage, the people around him, they say, now you are grown up, you should know, you should go to the market, buy this thing and do that. But I just take a small example here. A mom will tell to a child, right, okay, now you are grown up, you go and buy this milk packet or this particular thing from the market. Okay, here mom will use the term called, now you are grown up. Okay, but very next day, if the same child will ask him, mom, I need Activa keys, okay, or the bike keys, or the car keys, then maybe the parents may refuse. They said, no, you are not grown up. So this gives an identity crisis, okay, or a child get confused that whether he's grown up or not. So the teenager must achieve the identity or confusion in occupation, gender roles, politics, and religion. This happens at this stage. It's very, very normal. Okay, 6th one is intimacy versus isolation. Intimacy means closeness. Okay, this stage is of the time period is of young adulthood, that is called. Okay, and isolation word, that is lonely kind of feeling, right? So at young adulthood, this happens. The young adult must develop intimate relationship or suffer a feeling of isolation. Either what happens, they develop an intimate relationship, a close relationship with someone, or they may feel isolated also. Okay, 7th stage is about generative versus stagnation. Okay. So if I talk to you in a simple term that what generative is, so generative is derived from generativity is derived from the word generative. It means that can be something that can be produced. Or stagnation means there is no progress, no movement. So this kind of stages occur at the time of middle adulthood. So each adult must find some way to satisfy and support the next generation. Okay. And 8th stage is about ego, integrity versus despair. And what is this despair here? It is the feeling of having lost all the hope. Okay, when somebody loses all the hope in the life, that is called despair. So this is the late adulthood. Okay, so the culmination is a sense of acceptance of oneself and a sense of either it is acceptance of oneself or the sense of fulfillment. Okay, so this late adulthood, like we say that the adult people are the most depressed, but if I tell you the fact, aged people are not depressed. The most depressed people are the young adult people. Okay, because at this stage they feel lonely. Either they need a partner in their life or they need someone who can give them a listening ear. Okay, so they feel to have someone in their life. So at this stage, this feeling of despair occurs in their life. All right. So this is all are the major stages of the psychosocial development, which is given by Erikson. All right, guys. So I hope that is all these 8 stages are clear for you. So thank you very much for watching the video and have a nice day. Bye bye.